Good evening, my name is Yussuf Mahat Abdi. Welcome to On Point. I have a great show for you today, here to discuss everything that you need to know about the Senate, the dramas, the hullabaloo's that are going on, the ninth time adjournment like party after party. What does that mean for the counties that has now reaped the feast of the first fruits of devolution? Join me on the other side as we are splashing in this matter deeply. To understand more about this matter, with me here is Mahat Abdi and Hussein Mohammed. Mheshimiwa, we have devolution now in the last 10 years. As a county government, what a tangible thing that you did so far that you are proud of now?
First of all, I can never speak for the first phase of devolution. That was when devolution was new. Second phase of devolution, that's when I became the legislator. I have overseen budgets, I have overseen motions and bills. And I can tell you, second phase of devolution, and as far as the assembly is concerned, we became the first assembly when it comes to legislations. You know, it is constitutional that the executive shall drive our bills or our policies as far as Article 185 is concerned to the implementations. And to be honest with you, Garissa, we are overflown by number of personnel in this county. The ceiling, the labor ceiling is at 55% as we speak. So I can tell you about a good percentage of the money is going to pay salaries, is going to pay allowances of personnel. That's one problem we have. Secondly, and I think the government is the first time for Northeastern Province to start a cancer center. There are things we need to be proud of, and there are things we are never proud of. Of course, there's embezzlement. In every government, in every system, the embezzlement of funds. But I think in second phase of devolution, where I was a witness as a legislator, I am very proud to see a cancer center. I'm very proud to see a new offices built, separate from that one of our professional administration in the last 10 years. So I will give them 45%, although we never dispensed the term.
How do you see so far that we are now having devolution in 10 years, and then we used to call ourselves as marginalized counties, but since when we had devolution, do you think there is something that is more tangible that we did and that we are proud of for now?
Thank you very much. A lot has been achieved through devolution for the past 10 years, and there's a lot to achieve. First, marginalization is just a state of mind. It all depends with how those people use their resources prudently, because the government allocates quite huge amount of money. That's enough for developmental programs. So if we have the correct policies in place, we can actually develop and become a well-advanced economy in this country. But there are also challenges, because it's the first time we had self-government. It's the first time we had free money, quote unquote. It's the first time we had our kinsmen, quote unquote, ruling the system for 10 years. So there was a lot of mismatch in planning, budgeting, implementing, and actually doing a follow-up of the projects that have been implemented. So many things have been achieved. There's a lot of job opportunity. Over 6,000 people have been employed, although a lot are still jobless. Infrastructure, we have a bit of infrastructural development. Feeder roads are well put in place, though it's the work of the national government, but in consolidation with the county, there's some development. And we have so many things to achieve, a lot. So I can say it has done some things, and at least it hasn't done a lot. So I will give a range of 50%.
Okay, thank you. Mheshimiwa, coming to you, there was this drama that was going on at the Senate for 2 months now, and the county was running out of funds. The economy was on its verge of collapsing. The economy of the county was at its verge of collapsing. What kind of effect do you think this whole process had to the counties for now?
In the Senate, you said of a drama. I think we all agree. Allocating 16.5 billion to counties is never walk in the park. there has to be some kind of a scaffold. And I really agree. And as much as every senator represent counties, they have a constitutional mandate, or all senators also represent counties. That the senator for Homa Bay has an equal right, constitutional right to represent also Mandera as a county as a whole. And there was a delay in funds, of course, because of a heated debate in the Senate. Senate is a house which is entirely have the mandate of money when it comes to counties. So I will give them credit. I will give them credit because they soberly articulated the report before the House. There was amendments. There was Sakaja's amendment. There was amendment to Sakaja's amendment, which was the Linturis, that if there was additional money, 20 to 15%, the 5%, the CRI formula should take place, because we thought that was a win-win. And the senators have actually, I give them credit again, because the senators sit and agreed at a level that a rich county shall never add themselves money in the expense of another poor county. Rather, if a poor county will lose, let them lose at least something, not insignificantly. And that means you are poor, stay poor. So in a nutshell, I will say senators have redeemed the respect and the dignity of the House for the first time in this country. They have shown a sense of patriotic and brotherhood. I mean, 19 counties were to lose and 28 were to earn, but still, Kenya carried the day. Those people who said, if you want to develop a country that is developed, if you want Dubai, we need a whole of Dubai as developed, not part of Dubai is poor and part of Dubai is rich. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Fahad, coming to you. Some may say that the Senate have failed the 50 million Kenyans, that they cannot even come up with a mere consensus about the county revenue allocation. What do you think about that?
Okay, the Senate hasn't failed. Money is a contagious issue, and money divides people a lot. And the debate that has been going for the past is the allocation of the equitable share given by the national government to the county government, which means the vertical share. That one accounts for 25% of the annual budget the county government gets. Now the sad thing is the other 75% is required to be generated by the county government. Okay. Now the Senate now wants a formula whereby we have one country, one progressive economy to be built. Because we cannot add, for example, a county like Kiambu. Kiambu is the largest contributor per county of the GDP, while Mandera is the lowest. Now, if you say we are going to give more to Kiambu, even if it is 1 shilling, because the marginal rate of substitution for 1 shilling for Kiambu is not the same as the marginal rate of substitution for 1 shilling for Garissa, because the poverty level is not the same. It's not the same. So it means if you add more, you make the richer to be rich and the poorer to be poor. So therefore the principle of equity is lost. So what the Senate is doing is good. It has not failed the 50 million people. They need to reset, and if it means to agree on a formula that is going to carry everybody on board. So what they're doing is good. I agree with them totally, because it's not interest. For the first time we have seen Kenyans stood together, because it has been voted by several senators. Some even were gaining, and they're still voting against the formula. Why? Because they want us to have a progressive country with one economy which is prudent. So they haven't failed the 50 million people that is there. What they're doing is right, and I think in the long run they will agree and come up with a formula that will carry everybody.
Okay, thank you. Do you think, Mheshimiwa, that the new formula that has derived at the Senate is strengthening devolution or undermining it?
First of all, like I said, senators, by constitution or by the mandates they were elected for, are there to support and strengthen devolution. And that is entirely what they did, to enforce Article 202 on the equitable share of counties. And I think my brother spoke about the last 10 years, what the county government did to this part of the region. Moi government, Kibaki government has never done. I mean, it's a good start for counties. I think in 20 years, Samburu, Turkana will catch up. And again, managing the essence of devolution during the inception of Constitution of Kenya 2010, that the money there was a lot of ministers, a lot of assistant ministers. The money did not reach the counties through the former local government. The essence of devolution was money in the pocket of a local Kenyan in different part of this. That was the essence of devolution. And I think if you give 10 more years, I think we will be in a good position.
Fahad, what do you say about that?
Okay, I agree with my brother that the essence of devolution was to devolve resources to a last man. Because we have lived in a country whereby the first time you will see tarmacs when you go to the city. And there was a skewed formula for development that has taken place for the past 50 years. Like, people will grow in a place whereby they were privileged, and others will grow in a place whereby seeing or getting the basic resources was a major problem. But now we can see a place whereby people who are in the interior are driving, because of devolution. People are able to start their own businesses and thrive. People are able to do things that they have never dreamt of doing. So if you say now we are going to stop, this one will bring chaos. And this one will take the country back to a place it has left 15, 20 years ago. So I tend to agree with what my brother is saying, that devolution has brought so many things. And a lot is to come yet. So for us to achieve a principle of equity, we need to have a Kenya whereby the hotel in Samburu is the same as the one in Nairobi. The school in Mandera offers the same service as the school in Nairobi. The kid who schools in Kwale must have the same information as the kid who schools in Kiambu. That's when we can achieve one country. But if we have a situation whereby one part is more important than the other, then we'll have a big problem.
Yes. Maybe to add on that, what my brother has said, that if the national government were looking for a win-win consensus, despite the CRA formulations, 3.65 billion is what they're giving the counties. It's the 15% of the revenue. So mostly they say 85% of the burden in the counties, but 15% of the resources in the counties. So if Sakaja's amendment to the committee's report was, okay, we have 316.5 billion to counties, correct? Now why didn't you add some more? That more now we're going to apply 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote. So the national government denied that. So they were never honest about this thing. So it's very unfortunate that the national government is fighting counties, and I would like to congratulate those senators who stood with Kenya and who stood with devolution. I mean, they have redeemed the face of the Senate, and the history will remain.
Having said that, comparing I think we had 3 proposals at the Senate. Yes. The last one being the Linturis one.
Yes.
Do you think, comparing to the formula that was brought by the CRA, yes, with this of Linturi, do you think the Linturi is more of, to be fair to the counties?
Yes. Lunturi's suggestion is that 316.5 billion, if this 15 to 25% additional, that now shall be subjected to 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote. Now that will mean Samburu to lose 100, Kiambu to earn 100, and then Mandera losing 2 billion and Kiambu earning 2 billion. So entirely, in a nutshell, the idea was if the county is rich, shall never be reached in the expense of a poor county. And if a county is derive money from them, they shall never suffer because of the huge amount. We said if a county is poor, if a county is rich, the allocation shall be small because they have already, the line is very small. So we said if Samburu is losing, let them lose in a way that they can suffer. And if Kiambu loses, let them lose the money they can never feel. That was the idea of Linturi. And I think they put it to vote, and that was a win-win for everybody. I think Garissa, from the CRA formula, Garissa was losing 484 million from CRA, and now Garissa is losing something less than 100. So if it's a win-win for all this country, so be it.
But some critics again are saying that this one is carrying one marginalized community while killing the other one. What is your take about that?
No. It's a pure lie. This is something that was consensus done by the senators. the committee who brought the report on who are mandated by Article 195 of the Constitution, these are the representative of counties came together, brought their heads together and come up with this. So there's no way if your senator, the person who's Yussuf Haji, who's representing us in the Senate, have agreed entirely with this proposal. I mean, it is of no harm. Those critics are just people who, want to kill this community further, and we will never accept it.
Having said that, Fahad, there were some critics on the other hand who are saying that whatever money that is brought to these counties that are calling themselves marginalized, the leaders are the ones who are selling these counties. That whatever money that will be allocated to those counties are being invested in other areas. Do you think that? How do you see that?
Okay, first let me respond to one other thing. The last amendment that was saying, if Kiambu is to gain 100 million, then we shall have those who are losing to lose small and those who are gaining to gain small. Here, the marginal rate of loss has been reduced a little bit, but still there is a loss. So, but that's better rather than losing 2 billion. It's better you go with a lesser devil.
Yes.
So that's it. Now the other one is we cannot confirm that people are investing elsewhere, the money of the public, because those are just speculations. And what is for real is the moment you are given authority over resources for people, the most important item is to use them wisely to create development, because that's what people will have. Like you can create the supply of money in that particular economy, and this means every man has money in his pocket, number one. Number two, you can easily get people to loan you. You can easily have businesses thriving. Or you can stop that and start implementing developmental projects, build hospitals, build roads, empower schools, give scholarships. Now these ones are items that will live for posterity. 10, 20, 30 years ago, if you build a hospital, it will be there. But this theory of bringing up that our money is invested elsewhere, I think it's conspiracy. It's not there. Those are just people. People will keep on talking. People will keep on talking, and we cannot stop them from talking. And we say talking is therapy. So the more they talk, the more relief they feel. So that one cannot be substantiated. So I don't think if there are people who are looting public coffers and investing elsewhere. So if that is the case, then it has to be confirmed.
Okay.
Je, wajua kwamba runinga ya Alpha ni runinga inayoongoza kutoka maeneo ya mkoa wa Kaskazini Mashariki, hususan kaunti ya Wajir, kwa kupeperusha vipindi kwa njia ya kidijitali inayokuletea taarifa ya kusisimua, matukio mbalimbali ili kukuburudisha, kukuelimisha na kukufaidisha wewe mtazamaji. Zidi kumakinika nasi ili upate mengi kutoka kwa wanahabari wetu bomba.
Coming to you, Mheshimiwa, how can we encourage counties, especially the losing ones, to generate high revenue in order to offset the loss?
I think that is a task we will be always advocating for in different forums, especially ASAL counties. We were looked down most of the time because of our river generations. The supremacy of the constitution, they say, belongs to the people of Kenya. What gives you the power as a member of the public, as a citizen, is the tax you're paying. And I don't know, in Kenya these days, whenever people are messed with the government, the first thing they say, we are taxpayers. That's one thing that makes you a proud Kenyan and a proud nationalist, for you to pay a tax. We are behind. ASAL counties are behind as far as tax return is concerned. But it's upon now the members of the county assembly of Garissa County, if I speak for Garissa County, because ASAL counties is many, to come up with laws, provisions that will enforce and regulate taxes within the county. So it's a big task ahead of us. I have a personal discussion with the governor himself to come up with regulations to strengthen. Although this county is the basis and the foundation of politics, and we are known for whenever a taxman approaches a shop, we are known for making phone calls, we are known for people who know people, person who know person. I think that should be behind us. The only thing that we were able to fail with the revenue allocation is that we are poor taxpayers, and we are poor when it comes to returning back to the nation. And the money we are being allocated, by the way, we proudly see shall be given is our right, is taxpayers' money. Is the money a person from Marsabit, a shop owner in Muranga, a Mira shop owner in Meru, all this money put together is what we are calling is our right, and we must be given. And that should be our example on paying taxes, yes.
To add on what Hussein is saying, we can generate revenue in so many ways through the county government. One is collecting fees, okay? Another one is giving out licenses to business permits. But as a region, we are poor in generating in generating revenue, because we depend on the equitable share that comes from the national government. Other sources include grants and donations. We can generate our own source of revenue, which is called OSR, but we're not seeing all that. What we're only seeing is the share that we get from the national government. So it's high time the leaders in office should formulate policies that will see prudent revenue collection. And that one will even cover all the expenses that we have. We may even require a small backup from the national government by then. But our problem is we don't actually generate enough revenue to offset the deficit we have in our balance of payments.
Maybe to give more light to that, I remember there was a delay of salaries in counties, and Kakamega County paid all its staff by simply using the revenue they collected in the last 2 months. I mean, that's beautiful. Garissa, we can never pay only a department with our revenue collections.
Okay, thank you. Mheshimiwa, where do you see devolution being in the next decade?
I will say give 10 more years, because what we have seen, we have talked about offices, we have talked about state lodges. For the first time in Northeastern Province, we are building state offices. We spoke about cancer centers. We spoke about 150 million for youth, women, and persons with disabilities, although up to now they never channeled the money, and I'm still following up. So that never happened. Even coming together, making an act, waiting for money, that never happened in the last, during Moi and then during Kibaki. So I would say 10 more years, then we're good to go. And Garissa will catch up with other developed counties.
Thank you. Fadu, where do you see devolution being in the next 10 years?
Okay, it's good to be realistic. We are very hopeful and optimistic that things will be better. In the next 10 to 15 years, we will be developed. We will have a very vibrant, sound, and robust economy that accommodates everybody. A situation whereby people will have enough resources to offset their daily bills. We will have enough money circulation in the economy, things that can keep the normal citizen at their comfort level. With that, we need to have morally upright, intellectually cognizant leaders who can actually roll the ball forward, who can actually enact policies. The backdrop of a prudent and progressive economy is very, very sensitive policies that cover everywhere. The moment we have good policies, then it will be easy to implement them, and everything else will follow. So from where I sit, I can see devolution going far, and I can see us as a region getting what we have been missing for the past years, and that will be something good. So in the next 10 to 15 years, people who are going to come will actually live in a different Northeastern, in a different Asal region, in a different country that will accommodate everybody in one wagon.
While we are winding up, let us have our final thought before we call it a day.
And if I start, first and foremost, on behalf of the 60% of the population of this country which are youth, congratulate the senators who were gaining, their counties were gaining money, but still saw the pathetic issues in some part of the country, and agreed to work with other counties as one Kenya, who installed patriotism in our youth, the upcoming youth, who give us the hope that this one Kenya. I would like to congratulate them, and they shall expect the same from us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, my last thought is, since man can adapt to virtually any circumstance, we need to be hopeful. optimistic that things will get better. The storm shall pass and everything will go back to normal. So we're going to have a hopeful generation, hopeful youth, that at the end of the day we will have several changes, and I'm hopeful that several items are going to be sorted out and we will have a good environment where we can engage. So let's keep talking, because the moment we stop talking is the moment we start fighting. So let's engage. The more we talk, the more we understand each other, and the more we know one another, and the more we're going to respect everybody's perspective and opinion. So let's keep the discussion. Such kind of shows is called for.
Thank you for having you, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you
We're
so
glad
much.
to have you. We're glad to have you, Fahad Bek. Thank you. And that has been our discussion.